Hey guys, what is up here? Excuse me, having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but it looks like we are going live here. And I wanted to do this video. First of all, thanks for watching. Johnny here back. It's been a while. It's been a while since I joined and got to talk to you. So I appreciate Kieran and other people filling in on the podcast. Shane Larson. Appreciate Corey for doing his thing as well. Hey, Stuart, how are you doing? So I appreciate you guys joining in. I want to talk a little bit of my head versus my heart on the Clemson theory or the Clemson game. Maybe I'll put a little banner here so you guys know what I'm talking about and get into what exactly I mean. Let's see. Head versus my heart. There we go. Let me get my notes here. All right. Appreciate you guys joining in. It's been a while. Like I said, Corey has been carrying the torch for us as usual. He does a great job. Oh, hey, Adam, PJ, what's up, guys? So anyways, I'm here. No Corey. Corey's been more than busy here doing his part. So I'm sure the ladies will be disappointed that there's no Corey here. But for the ladies seem to prefer Corey for good reason. You've seen him, and I apologize. It's just me. The fellas seem to prefer me a little less threatening. And I can understand that. So anyways, happy anniversary also to my wife who is not listening. It's our 7-year anniversary today. You guys don't care about that. Let's talk about Clemson. Head versus our heart. So I want to say I am by no means a Clemson football expert. I'm by no means a Clemson football guru, but I did watch some today, looked at some highlights and stuff this morning, tried to get a feel of what they've done, especially want to judge on what they've done recently, especially with Lawrence back. And this is not going to be a huge overview of the game. This is just going to be a few thoughts, but I will say, looking at Clemson, their athletes are very good. I would not call their athletes scary in comparison to ours. But they're a good football team, great football team, but so is Ohio State. They're not polarizing, scary athletes. The offensive line, as I watch them, good, not jaw-dropping. Good, not jaw-dropping. The defensive line, same. And I know they have Brian Brzee or however you want to spell or pronounce it. He looks very good. There's some other players on there look good, but they don't look like just, man, you cannot block these guys that get pressured home all the way home on good teams with just 4, so on and so forth. I don't think that's true. They're just good. They eat up a blocker. They're not polarizing. But they do get their pressure up front from a lot of third down. Venables, I think, is blitzing. Third down, he's blitzing. He's bringing a linebacker who are also, Skalski's good. Again, not polarizing, but good. It's their scheme. They'll bring a safety. They'll bring a linebacker on a third down blitz, which makes them dangerous. And it's not just this otherworldly athlete, but no, it's a smart athlete who's just creating pressure and havoc. That's the thing on third down. It's not that the offense, to me, or their athletes are that scary. Some more scheme versus just extremely great athletes, but very good athletes nonetheless. Offensively, I look at their wide receivers. They're good. They're plenty good enough. They're not Higgins and Ross out there, but they're plenty good enough. You know what? Look, this is the scariest part of their offense is Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. Watch Lawrence. He can hit the intermediate stuff. He can hit the deep stuff, and anybody can hit the short stuff. But consistently, he's very accurate. He can hit the intermediate stuff. He can hit the deep stuff. Our secondary, I don't know if you've checked, isn't very good, or at least not great. I expect Trevor Lawrence to have a day. And I'm not saying they're not good athletes, but schematically, everything else, yeah. Trevor Lawrence could have a day. He's scary. Travis Etienne. When he just runs between the tackles, a lot of times, I think his average is 3 something a carry. He just looks okay, right? He just looks okay. But here's the thing with him. He looks okay. then he gets a crease on either getting to the perimeter or somehow getting through that first level, which he doesn't do a lot, but when he does, gets in space, a screen pass, gets through the crease, a perimeter run. Oh my goodness, he just transforms into somebody else. He is extremely fast and dangerous. And then he gets stronger when he's in space. Then all of a sudden you can't tackle him. All of a sudden he's Jerome Bettis, or maybe not to that level, but he just flies through the arm tackles or spins free. And we saw a little bit of that last year, right? People get a hand on him, but he doesn't go down. He's just so much speed. So just running between the tackles, he's not that scary. But when you get him out in some space or get him between the tackles through that first level, that guy can just rip your heart out of your chest in a heartbeat. And we've seen that. All right. This is where I want to get into my head versus my heart. That was a really quick, brief overview of Clemson, what they do. My head versus my heart. What does my head tell me? My head tells me that she's cheating on me. My head tells me that she's cheated on me with this dude 3 times. And she's telling me not to worry when we hang out the 4th time. But this time is different. My head tells me, though, that Clemson has played something like 11 games and Ohio State has played 6. Through no fault of their own. I'm not saying Clemson's this way better team or anything, like talent-wise or coaching-wise, but there is a huge difference in getting to grease the groove and playing every week, week in, week out. Now, they hit some adversity without Lawrence and some starters. I get that. But this is an absolute advantage for Clemson. My head tells me, look at the late season form they get to be in. Clemson is in late December form. Ohio State, 6 games. You know what that is? I'll give you a chance while I sip some Buckeye coffee. Well, it's not Buckeye coffee mug. That's like mid-October form for Ohio State. Mid-October versus late December. You don't get rid of that, right? So my head tells me we're in mid-October form, they're in late December form. And we saw that, right? We saw that with just looking inconsistent last week, or week before last, I believe it was, Big Ten championship game. And we saw Clemson absolutely tune up Notre Dame. My head tells me OSU has a first-year defensive coordinator. It tells me that we have Marcus Williamson and Malik Hooker in our secondary. And it tells me that we've been inconsistent all year long. Besides Michigan State, I can't think of a game we've played like more than 2.5 quarters. I can't. This is what my head's telling me, just as an analyst. Like if I'm putting my fan hat off and I'm saying, let me just try and look at this game. Of all those things, Ohio State plays inconsistently. Just their last game, they were playing inconsistent. Now, be it, I think the Olave thing was a huge deal, and they should have him back. And even with running the ball amazingly against Northwestern, I mean, Northwestern isn't some polarizing run defense. Their defense kind of relies on, maybe seeding a little bit in the run, really locking you up in the pass game. Granted, they weren't trying to give up 330 yards to one guy. Like, I get that. If you look at Northwestern, I think they're 54th in the country in rush yards allowed per game, 54. Now, granted, that probably slid them back a little bit playing Ohio State and giving up all those yards. But still, not a top-tier run defense in yards per game. And I think around 5 yards a carry they're averaging giving up. So I look at all that and I sit there and I think, 6 games, 11 games. Inconsistent, more consistent. First-year play caller, challenged secondary, got a defensive scheme that is not challenged at all. As far as consistency and such and what they're going through. I look at everything that you've seen throughout watching the Buckeyes this year and everything we know about Clemson. And that's just a huge hurdle. My head tells me she's cheating on me. And my head tells me if I was just an analyst and not a fan, this ball game would be 38-27 Clemson. 38-27 Clemson. 11 games, 6 games. It's too much to overcome. Too many inconsistencies, et cetera, et cetera. The things they're good at, we happen to not be good at in some cases. That's what my head says. But my heart, games aren't played on paper. Games aren't played on paper, and the paper, for good reason, really favors Clemson. But what does my heart tell me? My heart tells me, I know she stepped out on me with this guy 3 times, but maybe this time because she loves me. I'm thinking back about all the good times we've had and the good things she says to me. So maybe the guy she told me not to worry about, maybe I really shouldn't worry about him, right? Maybe she's just really not into ripped, muscular dudes with money and have a great sense of humor. Maybe she really just does see him as a friend. Maybe she's really always on Snapchat because she's just talking to her friend Tanya. And maybe when I went by his house, her car was parked at his house at 4 a.m. because she was actually over at her friend Tanya's, but the apartment complex didn't have any more guest parking. And because he's such a nice guy that he just let her park there. Maybe that's what my heart's telling me. Look, this is what I know about the Buckeyes. I know that if it clicks, right? If it clicks, this is a much different thing, right? If we do things differently, if the O-line has its best game, if Josh Proctor has his best game, if the secondary has their best game, if we put pressure on their defense at every level, meaning we run the ball well with Sermon and we keep him fresh by spelling in Williams and Teague, the offensive line blocks well, and we help them out by letting Fields run. Fields is an excellent athlete. No, we don't go JT on him, but we run some zone read to confuse them and keep them honest. And if Fields just takes 1 read, 2 reads, especially on 3rd down, tuck and go, use his legs, not to dance around, but to just get up field and get some yardage, man, move the sticks. I know that they're capable. My heart tells me, man, if they just put it together, if they do some zone read, and if Olave does what he does and gets behind people, if Wilson does what he does and does that great intermediate route running that is almost impossible to stop, right? Kind of like going back to the Ohio State-Alabama game a couple of years ago. On paper, it looked like Bama. But what happened? We know Devin Smith gets behind people. He got behind people, right? If we know everything that could go right does go right or close to it, right? There will be some mistakes and even maybe forced, maybe unforced. There's that stuff every game. If mostly everything that could go right does go right, my heart tells me the secondary can step it up. And you know what? The defense cedes a lot of yards. They look bad at times. And then what do? Like against Indiana and against Northwestern, where it looked like Northwestern was about to go down and score again. Turnover in the red zone. I know you can't bank on linebackers intercepting fade routes. Turnover in the red zone. Against Indiana, big hit. Baron Browning and the guys calls a fumble in the red zone when Indiana's driving. Take that opportunity away. I know you can't bank on that scientifically, but my heart tells me they can do those things. And they just bend but don't break, and they slam the door shut on Clemson a couple times. And that Clemson's without their starting safety in the first half, and maybe sometimes they start a little slow, and we can jump on them. So my heart tells me that if we put pressure with Fields, Sermon, Teague, Williams, and the receiving core, and we really balance, my heart tells me that this game can be the best game of the year, and then Ohio State can win a close victory. That's my head versus my heart. Really quick, someone says, why does it have to be a cheating thing? Because that's what people do. I'm trying to liken it to when people get delusional in their head and just think because they like something that it's gonna be different this time. This is the Michigan game this year. Someone says maybe that would be huge. That's our heart talking. I hope the heart's right. I hope the heart's right. And I will say, beyond that, enjoy it, right? and we knew there were challenges to this game. We knew that Alabama was looking like they were on another level from everybody else in the playoffs, and we just wanted a chance to compete, get in the playoffs and compete. That's what you hope for, right? This isn't the 2019 team, not close, but you get a chance to compete and hopefully peak and play your best ball at the end of the year. So enjoy the show. It's going to be fun just to watch a football game. It's crazy to think that the season's almost over. Win, lose, or draw, the season's almost over. This was a robbery of a season, in my opinion, especially for Big Ten fans. So enjoy it. This may be the last time we get to watch Shaun Wade, Baron Browning. There's even rumors about maybe I'm going to get into the who's out rumors. Shaun Wade play, Baron Browning play, Togiai and Haskell Garrett might be the last time we watch them play. I know everybody come back because of the eligibility rule of 2020. Likely, it may be the last time you watch Justin Fields play. I want to watch Browning on the field one more time. I know Shaun Wade, the controversy around whatever, how good he's been, whatever. I'm wearing my Shaun Wade jersey over top this nice scarlet and gray hoodie. I'm wearing that tomorrow because support the kid, love the kid's family, everything. So I'm going to have fun watching these kids play. And I hope you do the same. All you need is a shot, right? Just take a shot. And if we peak, we can do it. We will see what happens. I'm excited about another day, another time to watch some football. And take your shot. That's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will see what happens next time. I'm going to try to talk Corey into doing a nice pregame live show tomorrow evening on YouTube, etc. So thanks for joining. As always, goodbye. God bless.